Workers at the State Information Technology Agency have threatened to march to the Office of Communications Minister Mondli Gungubele as part of their efforts to intensify the nationwide strike action at SITA offices. The workers belonging to the Public Servants Association of South Africa, which represents the majority of employees at SITA, are on day 2 of their national strike following a deadlock in salary negotiations. SABC News reporter Katlego Legodi is live for us in Pretoria for more. Katlego, before we even get to some of the demands of what you're hearing from these employees that are on strike, I think let's clarify for the viewers, if the strike continues, what it means for welfare payments for the most vulnerable.
A very good morning to you, Naledi, and to our viewers at home. Of course, SITA, this being the State Information Technology Agency, handles and is in charge of the ICT work of government. This meaning that they handle, more or less online and IT work and technology work linked to departments. Here, we're talking about members of the South African Police Service that are accommodated by SITA workers and through ICT work. And we're talking about the Home Affairs Department, the database there handled by these men and women that are demonstrating here. We're hearing that they're also in charge of the borders in terms of the systems and the controls, and we also know very well that they're also in charge of just administering the salaries in terms of the public servants. So they're here out in their numbers today on day 2, Naledi, of their total shutdown as they intensify their strike action at the crux of what they're demonstrating about here, being wage issues. They're saying that this should have really kicked in by April already, but we're seeing the employer moving from 2% to 3.5% and again now to 5%, but the workers not moving. They've moved from 12% and now they're standing at 7.5%, and they're even saying that what they're hearing on the sidelines is that the employer is going to be pushing ahead, with this 5%, something that has angered most of them, and they decided that today they're embarking on to the headquarters of SITA in Pretoria to continue with their demonstrations. I'm going to bring some of them into the conversations to just let us in on where we find ourselves here with the employer. I have Patricia Hamese, who's the organizer here from the PSA. We're seeing, Patricia, that you came out with your workers. We see that you're members as well. You're here demonstrating and you're rejecting that 5%. Why?
Yes, if you check the 5% that the employer is offering is way too low, because at the moment we need a wage adjustment, like the inflation rate, so that our members can be able to afford, because presently the 5%, meaning that I'll be off worse than last year, meaning that everything that I was able to afford last year, I won't be able to afford now. So that is why, most of our members, as you can see now, they are very much unhappy about the offer that the employer is giving us now. So we are pushing on. So if you check, at least we started at the 12%, but presently we managed to move from there up until 7%. So you can see that we are negotiating in good faith. So if it is that the employer doesn't want to move a little bit so that our members can afford, then it means they don't take us serious. So members are very resolved that they are going to take this forward. And on Monday, we're going to participate on a march where we go into the Department of Communication to the minister, because you can see the management as well as the board, they are not taking us serious at all. And yet our members are struggling, like the petrol is going up, the food is going up. So literally we don't afford anything. That is why we're saying at least that 7% will make our members to afford the little that they can.
Patricia, just give us a sense of what is happening right now at some of these offices that are accommodated by IT workers from SITA, because we understand that today has been the withdrawal of labor, the continuation of the withdrawal of labor. Just give us a sense of the impact as we speak right now. What is happening at those offices when we see men and women out here demonstrating when they should be behind their desks?
Majority of our members, they withdrew their labor because obviously if it is that you can continue to work while you're supposed to be participating on a strike action, the employer is not going to feel anything. So the majority are not doing anything, so meaning that some systems on the government department may be affected. You must be aware that the SABC, the health and the salaries of the employees, including the SASA, our members are the ones that are working on those systems. So if it is that the employer is not coming to party, all those things are going to delay, and we're going to see other people, the public servants, also suffering. So hence we say saying that they must just come and give us what we are demanding, which is not that much, if you can see, because anyway, the inflation is around 6.9%, around that figure. So most people are not working. Our border members at the borders are also not working. So we are out because we really want this thing to be over with and we get our monies.
What is the employer telling you? Because we understand that there have been negotiations. You moved from 12% and now we are seeing you at 7.5%. The employer is standing there at 5%. What are they saying? Is there no money to really accommodate the 7.5% that you've been calling for?
Like from where we sit, because there are lots of profit that our members are bringing in, there's money that they can pay us. So they are not really saying that there's no money at all. So that is why we're saying let them give us the 7% at least, because we moved from 12 to 7, and then we go on with life, and other people can also start receiving, like your SASA and everyone else that has already been affected by this strike.
Patricia Hamese, thank you very much for your time. Now, lady, I'm going to just step out of short a bit to show you what is happening behind us. These are the men and women belonging to the Public Servants Association. They are out in their numbers today. We're coming to you live today from outside the headquarters here in Pretoria, and they're saying that really when you look at it, the desks are empty. Even yesterday they were telling us, lady, that as we speak right now, even those that are working from home hybrid, they've closed their laptops. They're joining in on the demonstrations here. They're calling on the employer to really reconsider the 5%, saying that they have it on good authority that the employer can afford what they are calling for. So they're calling for a 7.5%, and these are men and women that belong within the ICT or the IT sector within the State Information Technology Agency. And you're hearing them, lady, also say that they're planning to intensify their demonstrations with a march now planned to the Ministry of Communications, where then they'll also be roping in the shareholder to intervene in this wage dispute.